What quest am I on? Return lost souls. I need to do that one.
My master did say to serve
Oh, you're not even online. Actually, I don't think it's worth it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna gear up through PvE and get really high gear in PvE, and then what I'm gonna do is I'll do arena once I get a fair amount of gear.
Professor, an overlay app for League of Legends that gives you all kinds of useful information directly in the game, so you don't need to tab out or use another monitor. In Champ Select, Professor automatically gives you the statistically best runes when you lock in your champion. In loading screen, you can see an analysis of your team comp, showing your strengths and weaknesses as a team. This lets you know which part of the game your team will be.
Hey guys, Hamster Will here, and today I want to try something different. You see, the main character on everyone's classic account will probably enter TBC dungeons and raids with already some pretty nice gear. Whether it's blues and epics from TBC dungeons, or the awesome Nax gear that you're probably gonna hold on to throughout your journey to TBC raids. That, and there's also a lot of talk about what class will do the most damage in their pre-raid gear. But what about the opposite side of the spectrum? What about your freshly dinked level 70 alt that doesn't have a boatload of gear yet? Or everyone who just got to level 70 on a TBC private server? I'm looking at you, people that play on Endless.
You're here.
Basically,
Let's get
which
this
class is the least
I don't want
dependent
to
on
linger
gear
in the
and will
mall
still
a
be able
moment
to do
longer
solid
than I have
DPS
to.
even in crappy gear?
I understand.
Well, today I wanted to find that out. So what I did was give a whole bunch of class and spec combinations a bunch of random gear. This time around I will not use my raid environment because, let's face it, Characters with this type of gear will not raid to begin with under normal situations. So in this case, I used a random mob without any crazy buffs and also no consumables to kind of simulate you running a level 70 Warlock. Now I'm on my way to make sure every class and spec combination has the same kind of gear level, so to say, to make sure that there are no unfair advantages when it comes to gear. Alright, so without further ado, let's put a bunch of class and spec combinations to the test and let's see who comes out on top. So let's start off with the Shaman. For the Shaman, we're going to check out both DPS types. Let's check out the Enhancement Shaman first, with their ability to deal heal and some pretty sweet totems that will boost their damage. So, on average, our Enhancement Shaman is able to do a respectable 635.3 DPS, which is definitely not too shabby considering the crappy gear it's wearing. Then we're off to give Elemental a turn. Now Elemental is often considered to be pretty strong DPS when it comes to low tier characters. So let's see if that's the case. In this DPS test, it churns out a very nice 770.5 DPS. Amazing for level 70 normal dungeons and still pretty adequate for level 70 heroic. Alright, moving on to the Mage. And for the Mage class, I decided to go for Deep Fire and PvE Frost, as these are the two specs that give our Mage a good shot to do decent DPS even with this crappy gear. And we're starting off with Fire, and in this spec we did a reasonable 790 DPS, beating the Enhancement Shaman, but not the Elemental Shaman, which did about 50 DPS more. Up next is Full Frost for PvE, which is definitely not as popular as Fire, but it is considered to be pretty darn strong with low gear, so let's see if that's the case. And as it turns out, it's true, with a very impressive 972.8 DPS on average, which is pretty viable DPS even in tier 4 raids, which is amazing considering the random crappy gear Mage is wearing, and it shows just how powerful Full Frost PvE can be and how little gear it does. Next up, the Druid. Now for the Druid, I opted for both Feral DPS and Balance. First, let's try out the Feral Druid. Now for the Feral Druid, I did my best to use power shifting in the rotation, as that's a considerable DPS upgrade, and try my best to execute this properly, as I do have little experience with CAD DPS in the Burning Crusade. But even with my mediocre execution of it, it turned out a decent 532.2 DPS, which is okay in normal dungeons, but as I find out in this DPS test, the Feral Druid takes last place. Time to check out the Balanced Druid, and the Balanced Druid in this gear level turned out an adequate 568.0 DPS, which is a little better than the Feral Druid, but so far the Druid is at the bottom of the list with both specs. Which kinda makes sense, as Balanced Druids are more gear dependent than let's say a Frost Mage or Elemental Shaman, and a Feral Druid also shines when it has better gear, possibly the Wolf's Head helmet thrown in there, and admittedly someone who has more experience out. Okay, time for the Warlock. Now the Warlock has a couple of specs that work decently well with crappy gear, which are Affliction, Demonology, and Fire Destruction. Shadow Destruction is probably the most popular one in TUC, but it needs a lot of gear before it becomes really good, so we're not using that one for now. First up, Affliction. A spec that is considered to be pretty strong early on, as it isn't as reliable on gear as some other specs. And it shows, because in this test, the Affliction Warlock did an average of 714.2 DPS, which is definitely not too bad. Up next is another spec which is considered to be pretty good even with low gear, and that is Demonology. There's multiple variations of the spec, but in this case I'm rolling with Shell Guard. And well, I was quite shocked at the DPS this class and spec combination turned out. It did an amazing 1007.8 DPS. I'm not kidding, I didn't do anything crazy, and I checked afterwards to see if the DPS runs I did had a lot of lucky crits in them, but they didn't. Demonology Warlock just turns out to be really damn strong even with crappy gear, and it takes the lead in this DPS test over the Frost Mage and has done quadruple digit DPS in a bunch of random crappy items. That's just amazing, and a testament to how powerful Demonology Warlocks are in TVC. And then last but not least for the Warlock, we check out the Fire Destruction spec. With this spec, the Warlock once again shows an impressive number with an average of 859 DPS. So there's a lot of talk about how Warlocks will be very powerful in TBC, and this test in crappy gear just shows how much they can do on their own without any outside help like totems, extra buffs or consumables, and it seems that regardless of the gear level, Warlocks can do really good damage in multiple specs. Then we move on to Shadow Priest, a class spec combination mostly known for the amazing buffs and utility they bring, but not known for top gear. Still though, let's see how well a Shadow Priest can perform in a situation when they have crappy gear and they don't have a ton of buffs and consumables. And well, the Shadow Priest turned out an average DPS of 658.7, which is not too bad and puts it give or take in the middle of the other contenders. And on its own, that 658.7 DPS is a pretty good number with this gear level, and it's definitely good enough for level 7 normal dungeons. So overall, the Shadow Priest didn't do too bad of a job. And then we check out another meme spec, so to say, the Retribution Paladin. Now while the Retribution Paladin does get a bunch of buffs and extra abilities like Crusader Strike, they're still considered to be not the greatest when it comes to DPS. So let's see what the Retribution Paladin can do in this type of gear. In this case, the Paladin does an average of 491.5 DPS.
This shouldn't take
Definitely
long
not
to fix.
amazing, and it finds
Just make
itself
sure I
at the
don't get
bottom
gutted
of
by
this
any
DPS test,
Lost
with the
War.
first character dipping below the 500 DPS line. Then again, it does make sense, since many melee classes rely heavily on gear and a Wind Fury totem or a good damage. And at this gear level, while providing adequate DPS dungeons, it just doesn't match the superior DPS of other classes spec combinations we've seen so far. Time for some more melee classes. In this case, the Fury Warrior, which is probably our best spec for now to give the Warrior the best shot at pulling decent DPS. And in this gear level, the Warrior did an average of 489.4 DPS. Not amazing, but then again, a Warrior is relying on good gear and all kinds of influence items, and in this case, this test did not come with an execute phase, so if it did, the DPS would probably be higher. Still though, it's quite evident that at this gear level, the Warrior probably can't match the Warlock or Cross Mage, even if it did have an execute phase or a Shaman with Wind Fury totem. Alright, time for the Rogue class, and in TDC, at least with crappy gear, the Combat Sword spec Rogue is our best shot for this DPS test. So for now, we're going to put on that one. And in this year, the Rogue did an average of 514 DPS. Definitely not amazing, and it puts the Rogue at the bottom of the DPS list, though at least it is beating out the Warrior and the Paladin in this test. And it goes without saying that just like the Warrior and Paladin, the Rogue would benefit a lot more from higher gear and the addition of extra buffs like a Wind Fury totem. And last but definitely not least, the Beast Mastery Hunter, considered to be a very good spec regardless of your gear level. And I also decided to go with this spec since the other ones are not as good in terms of raw DPS, as marksmanship can't quite match Beast Mastery and survival is more of a support spec. And in this gear, the Beast Mastery Hunter churns out an impressive 779.8 DPS overall, placing it pretty high in our DPS test, but it doesn't beat out the Warlock or the Frost Mage. But in a situation where the Hunter has, let's say, a Warrior tank, and maybe some other class in its party that drastically decreases the armor of the boss, it could probably do 800 plus DPS with ease. For now though, 779.8 is our number for today. And that concludes our DPS test in crappy gear. Our top 5 is as following. Number 5 is the Elemental Shaman with 770.5 DPS. Number 4, the Beast Mastery Hunter with 779.8 DPS. Number 3, the Fire Destruction Warlock with 859 DPS. Number 2, the Frost Mage with 972.8 DPS. And our winner of this test, the Demonology Warlock with a very impressive 1007.8 DPS.
Stop him from
And
what?
in this graph, you
Show
can
the
see how
rest of the
all
message.
these class and spec combinations are stacked up against each other. As you can see, there's a big difference between the last place and first place, with our Demonology Warlock doing more than double the DPS of both the Fury Warrior and Retribution Paladin. Of course, I'd like to remind you guys one more time to take this test with a grain of salt, as the setup in your party when running a dungeon can differ vastly. Sometimes you're lucky, and as a rogue you get to team up with a shaman and thus get Wind Fury. Sometimes as a mage you're lucky, and you find the other two DPSers to be an elemental shaman and boomkin, which will drastically increase your DPS too. And sometimes you get unlucky with the group setup and only get a basic set of buffs like Arcane Intellect, Mark of the Wild, or something similar. For now though, it is evident which classes' spec combinations rely very little on gear and which are very dependent on a few DPS. And in this test, it were the Warlock, Frost Mage, Beastmaster, and Elemental Shaman that shined the most. And that's gonna do it for now. As always, I want to thank you for watching this video. I'm Hamster. Have a good one.
She was full of hope and life, and I found myself on this day, so devoid. I've got it! Step into the street. I can just sting. Enough to wound, not to kill. Why must? Oh, that's not. Please stop inviting me. Because then I'll have to attend when I'm in a bad mood. There's boundaries.
plan is ruined. There's no way to get across
Bring me
this
bones
chasm.
so I can make a hook shot and anchor points. Nonsense. Everything we need is right here. All that's required is a few strong bones.
Bones? Oh my.
What's up?
And his name is John Cena!
You okay?
What's up? Oh, sick. WoW's got another update. Awesome. So did you fix your truck?
Nope. Not yet. Waiting on parts.
Oh.
And my brother didn't bother to communicate that he had some fucking stupid wedding rehearsal dinner bullshit that he had to go to tonight. So now I have to wait for him to be done with that, and then it looks like we're working on my truck all night long. So super excited.
But you got the parts today to do it?
Got a part. I need multiple parts, and because we have such an amazing country right now, and you can't get parts like you normally can. You have the inflation's too bad, so everything's on back order.
Well, yeah, there's a bunch of ships sitting out in the ocean that I can get in.
Yeah, because Joe Biden won't let them come in. So
Yeah, it's great.
great president we have there.
Yeah, we're running out of everything at work.
For some reason he thinks COVID's on those ships or something. I don't know. Fucking idiot.
Hell yeah.
Grab 3 jugs of oat coolant when you grab stuff. Jesus fucking Christ, Joseph.
Well, at least you have your brother to work on your car with you. You don't have to take it to the shop.
My brother doesn't listen. He's actually pissing me off. Jesus fucking Christ. He's like, grab 3 jugs of OET coolant when you grab stuff. I'm like, Joseph, you're picking me up when you're done. We're going there together. Oh, yeah. Like, fucking listen, bro. Jesus, man.
So even if you guys do whatever you do tonight, is it going to be workable, or do you have to still wait on shit?
According to him, I
kinda
should have my
confused.
truck fixed completely. This is what happened. So my clutch fan bearing exploded. It literally, it broke. And when it does that, it rips the fucking belt into shreds. And then it damaged my, so my belts broke, and then it potentially may have damaged my water pump. However, it looks like it didn't damage my water pump, but we're going to replace my water pump anyways because I have over 300,000 miles on the truck, and it's the original water pump, and it just needs to get replaced. And now that everything's taken apart, we can actually do that. So we're kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone kind of deal.
Okay. Gotcha.
We were able to get the bearing today. That was available this morning. but my water pump wasn't available until 3:30, and then the belt's not available until 5. So, but now I'm waiting on my brother to be done with his little rehearsal thing that he's at. So, yeah. Spent all day at my brother's for nothing, basically.
Does he live close?
Yeah, but it's just the fact that he's 15 minutes away. He's in Port St. John, and I'm in Titusville. Not a big. It's not. It's just. There was no need for me to go there today. Basically, I could have been home and just chilling.
Gotcha.
But it's whatever.
At least you don't have to take it to the shop. That's what I would have to do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm grateful for that. It's just I just get annoyed when people don't know how to communicate.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that means you're gonna be back on the road tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow, if not like super duper early Saturday morning.
Nice. Nice.
He's sociopath.
Do-do-do. I think that I can think
How much of this do I have to do? Oh my god, fuck this game, bro. What kind of bullshit is this, man? This isn't it fucking... Oh my god, man. Blizzard is such a joke. They offer a Korthia skip, and it's not a Korthia skip at all. You skip the main intro of it, but you still have to do the whole fucking quest line, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's not a skip. They're like, okay, Blizzard, skip my ass.
Ooh, kinky. I was dance for a while. Oh, bless you. Wow, anniversary. Whoa. Oh yeah, I remember why I got off my fucking Windwalker now. Can you believe they gave me a two-handed staff? What the fuck am I gonna do with that? Is that even worth using?
Well, apparently Windwalkers can wear two-handed staves now.
I can, but I couldn't find one.
I don't know.
It makes sure your auto attacks and your energy like super slow. But I mean, it's a 20 item level upgrade.
Well, it's probably an upgrade then.
I can just save up for the other one. I already have one of the weapons.
Since you care so much about simming, you could always just sim it.
I could, but it's not gonna sim my PvP item level.
Of course not.
I have PvE weapons that are higher base,
That's why I don't
but
think
not
Simcraft
higher
is good,
PvP. It gives you a base stat to start at.
What's your item level anyways?
In PvP, 219.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like a waste of time.
It's a 246 item level.
I'm not
weapon.
bothering touching PvP until I'm at least 230 item level or something. There's no point.
Ah, my Windwalker, I'm still clapping. So.
It's because your class is broken.
Same with my Feral, too.
Apparently Hunter's broken too, but Hunter does 0 damage without gear. They need gear. They're very gear dependent. I do literally negative damage to people. It's actually crazy how little damage I do. There's no point in me even wasting time trying. The numbers are so different. It's fucking weird. When I do solo content, I fucking one-shot everything in the world, but when I do group content, I'm like on the bottom of the list on DPS. And then PvP, it's even worse. Too close to target. What a joke, Blizzard. Oh, we offer a Korthia skip now. No, you don't. Where? I clicked the Korthia skip, and I'm still having to do... It skips you basically like almost halfway through. But there's so many steps in the Korthia quest line that it's still gonna take fucking like all day to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a joke.
I just didn't do it yet.
It's just a joke.
Why are you trying to do all the Korthia right now?
Well, for multiple reasons. One, renown, the main reason. Two, it gives you gear. And three, if I ever wanted to get really nerdy, you have to do this in order to get like sockets and conduits and all that other shit. So I have 0 conduits, so
That's not good. Handle that devourer while I finish the repairs. This conductor is a shoddy piece of work.
I can already tell this patch is not going to be fucking anything good at all. Blizzard fucking lying again. They're getting really good at being liars. It's
What do you
kind
mean?
of cringe. They say all these things that they're going to do and they just don't do them.
They did a lot of stuff.
Right.
It'll just never be enough for
Well,
everybody.
let me rephrase.
Everybody,
They technically did what they quote unquote said they were going to do, but the way they framed it is they made it sound way better than what it actually is.
I mean, it's better than it
So-
was. Like, I think everybody, like, it's better than it was.
But here's the point, Theo.
It's not perfect, no, but
everyone's
it's
tired of
definitely
like
not better.
them only doing just a tiny bit better when everybody knows, and including their grandmother knows what needs to be done for this game to be successful. It's not rocket science. The community straight up tells them what needs to be done, and they just ignore them. And that's why their sub numbers are so shit. That's why Final Fantasy is fucking destroying them right now.
But yeah, we're all still playing it.
Who's your all? A lot of people quit. A lot of people quit.
I mean, you're still playing it.
I'm only playing it because you're playing it, honestly, realistically. And because there's no other video game to play.
And Final
Literally.
Fantasy only has 10,000 people watching it right now.
That doesn't mean anything, though.
Sloot only has 500 viewers watching him play. That's.
Got a flame tether.
I did hear Riot said they're coming out with an MMO.
Right to the forward
That's
path
gonna be
outside
crazy.
the vault.
That might be the one that
What do
has a
you mean?
chance
The one that has a chance of what?
destroying WoW.
What do you
Once and
mean?
for all.
Final Fantasy is destroying WoW. It's been destroying
I
WoW for the past,
don't-
like, 2 years.
Doesn't seem like it. Oh, I
Well,
guess.
according to the sub numbers, they are, so...
Oh. Just nobody watches it.
A lot of people watch it, especially when it just depends on the streamer. WoW produced a lot of famous streamers. A lot of famous streamers. You have your Soda Poppins, your Asmongold's, your Reckfuls, your Mizkifs. Like, WoW has produced a lot of famous streamers. So
I know.
it's got
and
a
it's
base.
a dead game on Twitch.
It's got a
so
it's got a base.
for one to
WoW's-
have 1/10 of the viewers on there, like
You'd fit well in
You
There's-
can't go by viewers on Twitch. Viewers on Twitch doesn't inherently that's a metric, but you can't
I mean,
use that
New
as the
World's crushing
defining.
it.
It's
New
because
World's
it's
doing good. I know
that's
that.
because it's a new game, dude. Every new game. Look at Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite's crushing it.
Let's
Give
see.
it a month, and
We have Warcraft has more than Halo Infinite right now.
for the past 3 days, Halo Infinite has been shitting on World of Warcraft. So maybe
got
today's the first day.
50K
finally.
right now.
Anyways, you can't just use Twitch. The point is you can't just use Twitch as a metric. It is a metric. It's a small metric, but it's not the defining metric. You have to go by sub numbers. Blizzard refuses to post their sub numbers anymore because they know how fucking embarrassing it is to lose all the subs that they've lost since Wrath of the Lich King. WoW has been slowly dying since Wrath. But because Blizzard is such an ginormous company, have made so many billions of dollars over the years, they can take hits.
I agree that it's definitely taken a hit, but I just
It's the lowest sub numbers they've ever had, ever. Literally ever.
they don't release it. How does anybody know? Like that's my thing. Like
Because,
how can you say one
what's
thing's
his
better than the
face-
other without any kind of
Because there's
metric?
articles on this. What's his face? There's you can't get a pinpoint exact for sure number, but there's a way to break down the active player. Bellier did a whole video on this explaining on how you can figure out the sub numbers to where it's pretty fucking close. Off of multiple different things between they do this I don't know, you would have to watch the video, man. Basically it breaks down in a nutshell, breaks down their quarterly reports along with their active user reports and /who and all that stuff. It equates a bunch of different things. and it gives a pretty near damn accurate number. Plus, a lot of these streamers have connections with certain Blizzard employees, and there's been leaks and stuff. So, how true that is?
To me,
just think of it this
personally,
way.
I never hear anything about Final Fantasy besides from you. I never see anything about it. I never see anything on YouTube about it. I never see any streamers talking about it. I never hear anything about it.
Do you not know how YouTube works?
Yeah, it's what you search up.
It's based off algorithms. If you're not searching anything related to Final Fantasy, you're not going to fucking get anything related to about Final
random
Fantasy.
Shit that pops up though. Like
it's based off.
Just saying, I never hear anything about it.
It's based off of your Google searches and your YouTube searches. If you're not searching anything remotely close to Final Fantasy, it's not going to advertise anything for Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy releases their numbers. They're not scared because they know that they're doing very, very well. They just had a major uptick this year. Huge uptick, mainly because of Asmongold, but it's crazy how one influencer can have so much influence on a video game. Actually kind of nuts.
Is it cross-platform too?
Final Fantasy? I have no idea. That game doesn't seem interesting to me. I think it's PC only because I mean I have no idea. I really don't. I haven't looked into it. It doesn't look appealing to me at all. Ugh.
There's so many sub-count number websites. It's crazy.
Yeah, Blizzard stopped doing theirs after Wrath Lich King when they started seeing a huge dip in Cataclysm. They released their numbers all the way up until Warlords, and then they stopped because their sub numbers were dropping dramatically.
According to this website,
Wrath of Lich King, they had the highest peak at 12.5 million. I know for a fact they don't have those numbers now.
Now, according to this website, Final Fantasy has more active players, but WoW has the most total players.
WoW's also been around way longer, so how are they figuring...
No, if you combine Classic with WoW, it has more than Final Fantasy. But just retail has less.
How do they make that? How do they do that metric? Because my account is shared. So am I counted as 2 players or 1? Because that doesn't even make any sense.
Active players, like people that, I guess, according to them, people that have played
I'm active
within that
on
month
both.
is an active player.
So am I counted as 2 players then?
Yeah.
Because I'm active on... That doesn't make...
If you play one time in Final
then.
Fantasy in a month, then you're considered an active player. If you play one time in a month of WoW, you're considered an active player.
No, that's not my question. That's not my question. My question is if I'm active on both Classic and Retail at the same time, am I counted as 2 players? Because if so, that's a flawed system.
I don't know.
Because I'm on the same account.
I'm guessing so.
Well, then that's stupid. That's inaccurate.
But you're playing both games, though. So would they not be able to count you for if you're playing Final Fantasy and WoW?
I don't understand your question. You're not making any sense by what you're saying.
It's 2 different games. Yeah, it's the same account, but it's 2 different games. Just because you can link the account up, that's not like... Okay, so if you had a different Battle.net, but you didn't have to pay for it...
Why would you care about that? Why does that... Where does that make any logical sense? Think about what you're saying, because it doesn't make sense. If you have a sub
I'm just telling you a number. Like,
No,
I don't know. You're like getting very defensive here.
No, I'm not.
I just said, according to this website, you're right. But if you add them both together, it has more. That's all I'm saying. I don't really give a fuck. But
I mean,
New World's
right
right behind
enough to Google it, apparently. But sure.
Yeah, because they're just random numbers people are giving out. Because apparently no one knows the exact number, so.
Well, no.
But I mean, if we would just want to take
unless they work for Blizzard, of course not.
But I mean, whatever these YouTube people say and these websites that have no
if you really care and you want to learn, you can go watch the video that explains it all. But
I believe everything I watch on YouTube. I just don't understand that logic.
Well, if you want to understand it better, go watch the video that breaks it down and explains it.
Whatever he says is true, then, right?
Do what?
He hacked into the database and got the information.
No, man, I told you there was multiple things they did to figure out the numbers, and it's not 100% accurate, but it's pretty fucking close. And he had multiple Blizzard employees confirming it. because he has inside connections. Did a whole fucking video on explaining on how they figured it out.
All right, let me go rip this video apart.
What is there to rip apart?
He said, she said, Eric, a Blizzard employee told me that this many people are playing the game. You have to take my word for it, though. Because obviously I can't show what they said or they get in trouble for it. And
That's
can't have them on
literally-
here to tell you, like,
that's literally
in
not
person.
what I said, but
You had people backing him up, but I guarantee you there's no evidence. It's just his words saying these people, right? Because he couldn't have them on
considering
there.
he has done multiple interviews with Blizzard employees, I have no reason to doubt that. Why would he lie about that? What for what?
For a video? For views? Because he's mad at WoW? I mean, there's many. Why would people lie about anything?
Time for gawking. We must
Okay then, Theo. So here's the
He
better
wanted a bunch
question
of
for
views
you.
on his YouTube video, and he
Here's-
doesn't like WoW anymore. I guarantee you he's probably a negative
Here's the
WoW
better question for
person
you,
now, isn't he?
since supposedly you don't care. Here's the
Doesn't
better
like WoW
question
anymore,
for
does
you.
he?
No, a lot of people don't like WoW anymore,
So he's
man.
biased against WoW because he's into this hippie shit, right? He's into the whole thing that they have, and now he makes videos bashing WoW, and then all of a sudden he's got a video saying that the sub counts of WoW are down.
I never thought I would hear the day that Theodore Totten is the defender of World of Warcraft. Jesus Christ.
Not a defender
Anyways,
of
man.
World of Warcraft, I'm a defender of people getting information that isn't 100% correct and taking that
Listen,
information
man,
and
how
saying,
about you go watch the whole
that is what it
video and
is.
then come back and have a conversation with me, since you supposedly don't care, but you acting like you do.
I'm just
Go watch
asked
the
asked
video,
you a
man.
simple question. Is the information 100% correct? You said no. But you're still taking that information as it is correct. And still saying, you just said yourself, WoW has more or less sub count than Final
I'm
Fantasy.
saying
But
what I
the
am
information's
saying-
not 100% correct.
What I am saying is I have no reason to doubt him.
Okay. You said, your words, Final Fantasy has more subs.
Yes.
But the information you have, they don't know it's not 100% correct, even the information he's putting out. But
Okay. Jesus
You're saying
fucking
the number
Christ. Oh
is
my
that.
God. You're right, Theo. You're right, man. You're right.
I mean, if you heard that at a debate anywhere, if anybody came up with you information like that,
I didn't think this was
Eric,
a fucking goddamn political debate. I don't
it's
give
not
a
a political
fuck.
debate, but
You're-
it's just
you're
people taking
comparing it-
information
You're
like
comparing
that.
it to that, though.
It's just crazy how people just take any information like that and just it's automatically fact.
So let me
now.
finish my
Now it's
question that I
fact.
was trying to ask you. So where does it make sense if the sub numbers are not lower than what they normally were? Why
sure they
don't
are.
Blizzard release the reports anymore like they used to?
I'm sure they are.
Every expansion since Wrath of the Lich King, the numbers have been dropping more and more and more and more until
I'm a-
Warlords, halfway through
100%.
Warlords, they literally stopped posting them anymore because people were making fun of them and making memes. And Blizzard gets really butthurt about that shit, and they delete comments on YouTube videos. That is fact. You
I'm
can
sure they
find
are
that
lower.
information.
I'm sure they are lower.
Well, if you care to know, the video
But-
breaks down step by step how they get really close to figuring out what the numbers are.
Really close.
Yes.
That's all I need.
And what I'm trying to tell you is there was several Blizzard employees that he was communicating with that said that that's pretty close to accurate, but they weren't allowed to discuss it beyond that. That's all I'm saying.
Does he give the name of those people? Are you allowed to like?
No.
It just says Blizzard employees. See,
No.
like,
So do I definitively know that he's talked to somebody
Exactly.
in Blizzard? No, but I have no reason to doubt him either.
just so you just believe anything you hear on the internet?
No, that's
Because
not what
no
I'm
one's
saying
ever
at
lied
all.
on the internet on YouTube for views. or
Never
anything
said
like
that they
You
haven't.
said you believed what he said.
Correct, but that doesn't mean that I believe everything I hear on the internet, Theo. You're hyperbolic in this for no reason. Just because I believe
believe
one YouTube creator does not mean I believe
A
every
YouTube creator
or content creator.
that
Excuse
doesn't
me.
have 100% fact to back up his story. That's
Look,
just
man,
wild.
here's the
That's
thing.
wild.
Here's the thing, dude. I've been watching Bellier for years, and I have, by the way he acts, the way he presents himself, the way he has been over the years, I have no reason to believe that he is lying. Okay? That's my belief. You don't have to believe it. He doesn't say it's definitively this set number. He never gives that set number.
Oh, well then, okay.
I never said that he said that either. I said he gives out a projected number that's pretty fucking close to what it, and he says that in the video. He explains that in the video that, hey, just so you guys are aware, this isn't definitive. However, from my sources, inside sources, and all the calculations we've done, we can arguably say that it's pretty close to accurate. Now, like I said, if you care, since you want to have this discussion with me, I haven't watched that video in like 2-3 months. Go watch the video. He breaks it down, explains everything.
No, I'm good. I don't have to watch it because what you just said to me, it's not 100% accurate. So I'm not going to watch something that's not 100% accurate.
Nobody has 100% accurate unless you're a Blizzard executive, dude.
Exactly. So no one actually knows except for Blizzard employees. Like,
right, and I never said that he knew either. That's what I'm getting at.
You said Final Fantasy has more subscribers than WoW right now because of this video. But now you're saying
no, I never said because of that video. That never came out of my mouth.
All right, sorry. What did you say then?
I said I know for a fact that Final Fantasy has more numbers than them because they've been displaying their numbers, and it's over 10 million subs, and I know for a fact that Blizzard doesn't have that.
1 million according to this. This website's 3 million. This website's 1 million.
Okay, so it sounds like it's a Well, that's not what I heard from the interview that
website
the Asmongold had with literally the creator of the game, the game director. So that video's not even like that video is less than a month old. So
according to the #1 MMO activity population website on the internet, it has a total of it is the #1 game subscribed right now, or active players is 1.98 million. Total players that have played the game are 34 million. But active players not a fair, is 1.98.
But that's not fair. You can't look at a metric like that and compare it to WoW because WoW's been out way longer. WoW's been out since 2004.
I'm looking at active, which would be subscribers.
Right.
It is more than it. But if you yes, according to this website. But then again, I don't know how they're getting the information for World of Warcraft.
Well, like I said, man, they released their between the quarterly reports and /whoing and then figuring out I forget all the metrics that they did to figure out the numbers, man. It makes it makes sense.
Is the #1 ranked MMO out of 133 tracked MMOs in terms of player population.
WoW also has a lot of...
It gives the daily chart on this website of people logging in and out. That's crazy. I don't know how they get that. Well, according to this website, it has way more than Final Fantasy right now. Not even close.
Like as far as active players?
Yeah, like way more.
I don't believe it.
It has, according to this website, the #1 MMO website in the world for this, it has a total of 116,694,000 subscribers. Today, there was 1.1 million people that logged into the game and played. And Final Fantasy has 34.73 million subscribers. But more people logged in today. That's kind of funny.
Sounds very inaccurate.
Yep, they all do, because none of them have exact numbers.
No, nobody.
Now I can go to a different website and give you some different numbers. And then probably look at a different video and... Isn't there like a Steam? I know Steam does it, but if it's not on Steam, they don't track it. Everybody just needs to get on Steam. I know Steam does all that shit.
No, Blizzard's too butthurt. They have too much quote-unquote pride. They don't want people to know their real sub numbers. I know it's lower than... I know it's lower.
Final Fantasy isn't on Steam either.
There's no reason... See, Blizzard used to have a big dick, and they wanted everybody to know that they were the top dog in the fucking MMO genre, and they've been slowly dying over the years, and they're butthurt about it, so they don't want people to know.
I'm sure.
I mean, why else would you take your why else would you take your count down? That's the only logical explanation.
Because numbers went down.
Exactly. And they were getting made fun of for it. They were literally, Theo, they were literally deleting comments on YouTube about it on their YouTube channel. In fact, go to any of their YouTube. Here's another thing, bro. Go to any of their YouTube content right now, the actual like WoW YouTube content. It's all fucking, the dislike to like ratio is so bad. It's so bad. Every video, literally all of it. The MDI, the AWC, anything. It's fucking bad. Plus that lawsuit didn't help them at all either.
Yeah, all the fairy boys came out for that.
Dude, there was protests in the video game, bro. There was protests literally in fucking Ouroboros of players protesting, refusing to play. It's like, you
But
guys
they
are
were
fucking...
still logging in.
Oh, I know.
So that means they still paid for their
You're
account.
protesting Blizzard by
that's so
logging into...
crazy.
They don't care what you do in the video game. You're still fucking playing the game
That's
by
crazy.
logging in.
I
You're
guarantee you,
Yeah.
99.9% of those people are still playing the game. They might be playing Final Fantasy, but I guarantee you what, WoW's still getting their subscription number.
I know, man. We live in a fucking retarded ass world, bro.
I'm
just not-
retarded. People are addicted to WoW, and all these hardcore ones are all addicted to WoW. So
No,
they're
I'm
not gonna
sorry.
stop
If you're
playing.
a quote-unquote activist and you're protesting a fucking video game, the last thing
Oh,
you
yeah,
do is get
that's
on the fucking video game, dude. I'm sorry. You're just an idiot.
Yeah. Go protest this. Not
You're
the
really
not the top.
hurting Blizzard's feelings by basically paying them money for you to protest them inside their video game. Like, they don't care what...
Go protest Blizzard,
think
not
that
the
Blizzard
company shipping
executives-
people over here
Do
in
you think-
crates and
Yeah.
like breaking clear laws and doing whatever the fuck they want and controlling the entire basic
Blizzard
world of
is a
population.
giant corporation business. Do you think 2 fucking seconds that they give a fuck what you do inside the video game? They're
and what
making
they
money off of your
did
ass.
was nothing compared to some of these top 100 businesses.
Exactly.
Like these big oil companies and shit, like do the craziest shit and whatever they want.
Mhm.
Like what they do overseas to like and like how they dump their oil out in some of these people's like land and just kills the kids and shit. Go protest that shit. Don't go protest a fucking video game because they were sniffing girls' chairs.
They were crawling under the desks and grabbing them by the ankles.
What's wrong with
apparently
that?
While they were drunk. That sounded like a
What's
fun
wrong with
time.
that? Guarantee you the girls that were living there, that was the first or working there, that was the first time they got touched in a long time.
Well, there was a lot of other serious accusations, but I think that shit is fucking ridiculous to get mad about.
Let me sniff your chair, bitch. Some 300-pound Jabba
There
the Hutt
was some
game designer.
there was some like big, I don't know if they were considered executives, but they were like up in the higher end like management of the WoW team that were like basically one apparently raped a girl supposedly, and one basically told her that you're gonna have sex with me or else you're gonna lose your job kind of thing. Apparently that happened.
That happens at fucking Pizza Huts.
I mean, that's
That
not
happens
okay.
at like,
That
no, it's
doesn't-
not okay, but it's like that happens in any big corporation. This is not the one to stop it, like to start stopping it at.
I mean, listen, man. I'm not dogging people for quote unquote.
I know
protesting,
guys that have been
but
put in that situation.
it's just-
from other guys, like gay corporate guys, like basically telling them to like suck their dick and shit. Like, it's not right, but that happens. In
All
any,
I'm
like,
saying is,
there's every corporation.
you have every
does
right
that
to
shit.
protest, and I don't care if you protest per se, but just don't be an idiot about it. Like you're not.
If you would
you're not-
protest, unsub,
exactly.
and tweet
A
out.
lot of people.
All
do.
you would have to do is unsub and tweet out your account that you unsubbed.
Yeah, a
and they
lot of
could have
people-
started a chain
They
with
did.
everybody that did that, with hundreds of thousands of people
They did.
unsubbing.
They
They
did.
did? Well,
yes.
it didn't fucking phase them.
But
the other ones
My point is,
were
the other
inside
ones.
the game.
Correct. The other ones that were saying that were, they're like, you know what? No, we're gonna protest inside the game. We're not gonna play their content. We're gonna log on and sit around Ouroboros. It's like, okay, like you really don't have nothing better to do
Those
with your
nerds
life.
should have got together and DDoS the servers or something.
No, those people don't deserve to like be a part of society, in my opinion, because you're beyond a loser at that point.
I'd sniff their chair.
I probably would do sexual.
They're probably
things to them,
just they're probably just jealous that nobody sniffs their chairs.
That's
I guarantee you, like 30% of them were actually females that were like mad, and the other 70% were the white knight guys.
Did you hear all the content creators
Bunch
of
of
this
white
game that
knights.
were tweeting out? You know that Nigeria girl that does the MDI shit or whatever
Yeah.
her name is? She literally sent out a tweet and got on stream and was like, guys, I don't know what to, I don't know if I don't know what to do. I'm in such a turmoil. I don't know if I should stream WoW or just, you know, I don't support.
Stop streaming it for a day.
I don't support them, but you know, like, this is my game where I don't know what to do. Like, this is how I make my money.
Career.
This is how I make my money. I don't know what to do, guys. What should I do? I don't support them. I'm like, oh my god, bitch. Either get off WoW or play WoW. No one cares.
What if any of the girls look like that they were fucking around with?
Well, apparently all these content creators were getting a bunch of shit about it, like Asmongold and all them. Like, all the big WoW streamers were getting a ton of backlash for streaming World of Warcraft.
Yeah, because they were talking all this shit and they were still doing it.
No, that's not why. It's because of what happened. How dare you support a company that likes to rape women and not like all this other bullshit? That's the comments they were getting constantly.
It's funny. Bunch of white knights everywhere.
Yeah.
These guys are like, damn it! I wanted to sniff her chair. Bullshit!
That's
now I gotta jerk off to her YouTube videos.
That's why I would never ever want to be a big streamer like that, because I would, first of all, I would tell everyone to go fuck themselves. Like, I'll do what I want when I want. Number one.
It's crazy.
How dare I, bitch? I'm fucking playing a video game. Me playing a video game has nothing to do with. It's the mentality. It's the stupid political environment we live in. They look at it as you're supporting rape by playing a video game that has.
Hell yeah. That makes sense.
That's how they look at it. It's really fucking weird, man. Yeah, totally. It makes a lot of sense.
Anyways, I do hope an MMO that comes out that I am actually.
Well, New World was supposed to be it, but New World looks boring to me. Like, after watching it.
What I'm saying is what I'm interested in. Like,
well, Ashes of Creation is supposed to be coming out soon, and that's supposed to be the supposed WoW killer.
Riot's making an MMO right now. They released it the other day. They said that it was one of the guys that used to work for Blizzard, I guess, went over there and made some like really good shit for Riot, and everybody's like a big fan of him. I can't remember his name, but he tweeted out basically, "Watch out, Riot MMO is in the making right now. Will be coming to you soon." Everybody's like freaking out. That is a big enough company to do some good shit in an MMO. There's been some other MMOs
for like making really hard video games or some shit.
You mean League of Legends?
No, I'm talking about they have other games that are.
Oh
like,
yeah, they've
aren't they the creators of?
They own Fortnite. They own.
Wait, they own Fortnite now? That was Epic Games. Did they sell them or something?
I think Riot owns Epic.
They must have bought them out. They didn't have first. They didn't have first. I know that for a fact.
They own a lot of shit. They're like.
No, Tencent owns Riot. Tencent owns Riot. Tencent owns everything.
Yeah. Those people own everything.
That's the largest video game.
Well, they got Valorant. Valorant's actually still doing pretty well.
Yeah, it's like supposed to compete with like Counter-Strike or some shit.
It's still doing really well. So yeah. Yeah, League of Legends.
Don't they
it's
own
gonna be
what is that other fucking game that competes with Diablo? Path of Exile or whatever? Don't they own that?
They might under one of their sub things, but not under Riot Games directly.
Who's the creator of that?
That's an indie company.
No, I could have sworn Riot.
No, Path was made by an indie company. At the beginning, it was an indie company, but then somebody bought them out. Yeah, they started with like no budget. They had to get
Riot owns them now, but I could be wrong about that. Maybe I don't know.
Because when it was coming out, you had to pay the alpha because the people were an indie company. They had no fucking money.
When I saw that skill tree, that was such a turnoff for me. I never wanted to try that game.
Exactly. I played it for like 10 minutes and I was like, this is too complicated for a game like Diablo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, it's true. We're making an MMO. No, you're not dreaming. We are working on an MMO RPG based in the League of Legends universe. So that right there is going to like, I don't give a fuck about League, but that right there is going to bring so many players already.
It might be good because I never got into
We know MMOs take a lot of
Warcraft.
people to create, and we'll need a pretty big raid team if we want to bring Runeterra to life. And that's where you come in. We'll periodically post new rules, But right now, we don't have any specific openings on the team. We're just gearing up for the journey and need to replace our greens first. If you're interested in joining, you can submit below. So like trying to get a couple like gameplay engineers and stuff like that. But it's gonna be based in the League universe, so right there you're gonna have like 10 million people day one, just from the League people, and then everybody else that's excited.
Yeah,
for it.
I can see that because
Yeah. There's only 2 other MMOs that I played that I liked. One was Rift. I loved that shit.
I never played that game.
But it died because there wasn't enough big enough player base. But it was really fun.
Remember when Wildstar was supposed to be the wild killer and that game like died so
and then
fast?
Black Desert Online. I like that a lot.
I heard that combat in that game is like insanely good. It's like the best.
Black Desert, it's amazing. Yeah, it's really really good game. But once again,
it's still active. It's still pretty active actually.
It does, but it's cross platform. That's why.
So what's wrong with that?
That's the only reason it has a good enough player base to play.
I watch Vanguards play it all the time. He still streams it every once in a while.
It's fun.
I almost got it.
It's
I almost
fun.
tried it because
I can't remember why I didn't.
According to everybody, Vinruki and Sidu did a sponsor stream on that one day, and they said that the combat was the best they've ever felt in any MMO ever.
I played it actually on Xbox, and it felt really good on a controller because you could like dodge attacks and stuff like that, so you can use the sticks and stuff to like dodge attacks. So it felt like really good.
You know what game was actually really, really good?
I think what I didn't like about it was in-game PvP at the time when it first came out was really whack.
Have you ever tried Neverwinter?
Super whack. Yeah.
Neverwinter was actually good when you got to in-game content. It was just getting to the in-game content was a nightmare. But once you got there, it was so... It was actually... I shit you not, I would probably play that game right now if everything under the sun wasn't time gated in that game. The problem with that game is it's very pay to win, and everything's time gated. Everything you do. There's this system in that game called boons, and it's literally time gated by actual real time, not in-game time. So to get the max amount, so it's like a progression system, kind of like the Covenant system we have. It's sort of like that, right? In order to max out the entire tree, Theo, it takes literally, I shit you not, 6 months. You have to be on every day to activate it.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
When, like Chris was trying to get me into that, and when I got to that part of the game, I was like, hell fucking no. But the PvP in that game is so good. It's really, really good. It's one of the best, well-designed PvP MMOs I've ever played.
Rift was my favorite and best MMO I played. If there was enough players in that game, I would hands down play that over WoW. But it died. That's literally, I guarantee you, if you ever played Rift, it was basically Legion. Not like how gay Legion was, but like how the Legion invasions were. It was literally, they said it was a copy of Rift, and it was.
I really didn't think the Legion expansion was that bad as a whole. The only thing that made Legion bad at first was just the artifact system and the legendaries.
Like, the invasions in Legion... That was what Rift was. They were like random rifts that would open up in the real world, and you would have to like actually gang up with like people on your server to do it, or you couldn't. And then there'd be world bosses that would randomly show up in the world and start walking around and just destroying cities, and you'd have to like ally up with people to stop them. And when I say these world bosses, I would look up on my camera, and I couldn't even see their head. Like they were like. They made the bosses in the game look so fucking big.
Certain bosses in WoW are like that.
Like thousands of feet tall, like just.
There's this boss giants. In TBC that's so insane. Well, they changed the scaling in this game after WoD. They changed this game completely when it came to that. So nothing looks ginormous like it did back then. Like
yeah, and the PvP was really good in that game too. They had an arena system. They had everything, but it came out in a time when WoW was doing really well, so it never had a chance.
What expansion?
It came
what
out...
year?
I
remember that game. I almost played it. My brother was playing it for a little bit.
March 2011.
Oh, that's when Cataclysm was out, I think.
I remember WoW was huge then, and everybody jumped on Rift for like a little bit, but everybody, all my friends, even that guy got into it. They all just went back to WoW. It was burning constrained. Is what it says. Wait, what?
No, that's not possible. Wow.
Oh wait, no, it's not.
2011. That was when Obama was president. WoW was already been up.
2011. Yeah, it's Kata right before
It was
Mop.
Kata. Yeah. Yep.
So
Kata was the first expansion where WoW started slowly dying. But PvP was really, really good in Kata. Like probably the best, according to all the
liked
top
Mop.
players.
I still think, from what I played, Mop was my favorite.
Mop was your first experience with WoW, period. Though. See, I feel like
I leveled through Kata.
I feel like yeah,
I
but
didn't
that
play
doesn't
in-game, though.
that doesn't count though. That's the
But
same with me. Like I
Mop
leveled in
was
TBC, but I never
Fun
played.
as fuck. Like
Yeah,
everything I did in
some-
Mop was fun, and then it just got worse.
Yep. Yep. Mop was the
You
last
remember-
expansion before they started doing stat squishes too and stuff.
I remember going to the Alliance PvP vendors with 2 of my people and killing all their PvP vendors because we
Yeah,
could.
that was me. Remember it was on the wall and you could knock them
Yeah.
off the wall? Yeah.
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 You can't do shit like that now.
I mean you
That
can,
was so-
but there's so many different mechanics.
You would have to have a fucking raid to do that shit.
There's no good PvP spots anymore like that.
But it was
there's
just
no-
like little things like that were just
There's no
so much
incentive
fun.
to do world PvP. Like world PvP doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, there's no incentive.
See, that's why I think you would genuinely love to play classic WoW because world PvP is actually fun, meaningful, and like you get actually rewarded for doing it.
What do you get?
Well, honor actually means something, and you get honor, which
I mean,
is
honor means something in here too.
yeah, but it's a joke on here compared. They just throw honor at you, like
Really? Do you know how much honor you need? I need to upgrade my gear, and why I don't really care about upgrade like one character right now. Do you know how much I need? Take a guess.
like 15,000, 50,000.
110,000.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense.
It does. To upgrade your gear, go do the math. Go to the vendor right now. It's 110,000.
Skullcap did the math on. They said 50,000 in their video. I don't know.
110,000. Go do it right now. Surge was even talking about this yesterday. They were doing the math too. For him to upgrade his gear that he has already gotten at level 4, it was 75,500. Okay, so a 2's win is 110 honor. Basically,
I
it would
know,
take
Theo.
me 7,000 arena wins, or it takes me 562 BG wins to get enough honor to upgrade one character. So I just don't give a fuck about that anymore. I'll never be geared up.
That's why I'm gearing myself up as much as I can in PvE. That way, when I start doing 2s and stuff like that, I'll just naturally get the honor over time because I'm going to be playing. My goal is just to be spamming 2s on this in general, and especially on this class. So once
Okay.
I get to that
But
point,
it's
I'll
just
just
still never,
you'll
never
eventually get
there.
it. That's not true.
Okay.
Eventually, if you play every day, if you
100?
dude, if you play like how these WoW streamers
100.
play, you'll get there for sure.
100,000, but neither of us do that.
No, I
Divided
understand
by
that. I'm just saying.
110 equals. So you will need 909 2v2 wins to have enough honor.
What the fuck
And that's-
am I?
that's only
oh
100,000.
my god, I hate Zygor so much. I'm about to get rid of this stupid fucking add-on.
That's more arena games than I've ever played in this game, period.
Well, I don't know where you're getting that number from.
Go.
'cause
It's super easy. Go to the vendor. It'll show you how much it takes for one piece.
I don't know why Skullcap says 50,000 then.
Yeah, I don't know. I either. Where does it say that at? YouTube?
I don't
last
remember
video or
what,
something?
no, I don't remember what video I listened to that said that.
Oh, because it goes up to 9 now. Yeah, before it was only to like 5.
I think it was like a 9.1 gearing video that Skullcap made or something like that.
Yeah, that was 9.1, but now you go up to 9. So now you have double the cost, pretty much.
It's been 9. It was
No, it's
9 and
9.1.
9.1 as well.
Not yeah, but now 9.1.5 it went up, did it?
No, wrong.
Oh,
It's,
well then they're just
it
wrong
went up.
because
It
it's
went up
super
in
easy
9.
to do the math yourself.
It went up in
So-
9.1. 9.
To upgrade just my helmet from level 1 up is 11,000 honor. Just my helmet. It's one piece of gear. So do the math. I'm looking at it right now, so I don't know why. This is why I just do shit myself and looking at myself. Swear.
What the fuck
My
am I
weapon,
supposed to do?
my one weapon is 26,000 honor to upgrade. So, good luck.
You have to get the fucking rating anyways to get that anyways. You know that, right?
I do know that.
Like I'm
I'm
stuck
saying
on
if you want to
rank
upgrade
5.
all the way up, then you'll still never be. Then you
I'm-
won't ever be fully geared. So
I'm stuck on
then
rank
just-
5 right now.
Yeah, then
Because
you'll just never be fully
I need to
geared.
get
You'll always be
1800.
behind.
Well, of course.
So then
I'm
it'll
not-
never matter, and you'll just never be geared.
For
so.
me, anyways, I'll never be fully geared no matter what because of my job alone. I'll always be behind.
The honor needs to be cut like in half. It's actually insane.
That's why I enjoy TBC. I can do PvP undergeared and kill people. I mean, they can kill me too, but you actually have a chance. You don't have a chance in this game.
It just depends on the class. I have a chance on my monk.
For the most part, you don't have a chance, but yes,
But it doesn't
you are
matter
correct.
because I have to win 900 games to, like, the point is to get gear. So even if I am winning, it's just way too long. So just like, oh, that grind is not feasible for me to even do. Why am I on this guy? What guy was I gonna get on? I don't like the whole upgrade system with honor anyways. I think it's kind of dumb how you have to be a certain rating to have the best gear.
Yeah, I agree.
Can we just bring back vendors and then we buy
Well,
the gear?
that's kind of sort of how it was back in the day as well.
It's kind of shitty.
Well, no, because how it worked back in the day, it worked out perfectly because PvP was designed in a way to, like, if you had good PvP gear, you were actually good at the game. Whereas it doesn't matter anymore now. The way the system was set up, it was set up to be like, oh, he's actually like a good player. But unfortunately, it's not like that anymore.
I think if you have 0 rating or 3,000 rating, you should be able to play on the same playing field.
There was people talking about that. Oh, supposedly in 9.2, they're going to be implementing some kind of system like that.
Because first coming into this game,
They're going to be implementing solo queue
it's
too.
so
apparently.
terrible. Yeah, they are.
It only,
got a brawl
took,
coming out.
it only took them 10
Well,
fucking years of people bitching and
okay,
complaining
they
about
have
it.
a brawl coming out.
Yeah,
Well, they
they're
said they couldn't do it because something to do with the.
bullshit. It's a lie. I don't
Coding
believe
of their
them.
game.
I literally don't believe them.
It does sound. If you know a little bit about coding and stuff, that's what I said before. It does sound kind of hard to do.
Any other video game can do it, but this one,
What
come
game?
on. Any of them. If Halo can do it, why can't fucking this game do it? Why?
It's a way different based game though, because you don't have like comps and stuff like that. Everybody's the same.
It's not hard to do, man.
There's no MMO that has that. Not that I've heard of. I know Final Fantasy doesn't have it. Black Desert Online doesn't have it.
If they
Rift
can
didn't have
implement a
it.
search system to that's what you're looking for, why can't they implement the same thing as an automatic system? How hard
So
would
what do
it
you
be?
mean a search system?
So listen, hear me
I
out.
want to
Why
play with a
can't this-
mage.
Yes. So let's say you want to
That
queue
would be
up for.
terrible. It's not gonna work like that. So
Why not?
that would take way too long.
How do you know?
So there might not be
Are
any
you a
mages in
coder?
queue.
Okay, so you just
Because
keep searching until
I
you
play
find
games
one.
like Smite that have that, and you'll be stuck in queues for 30, 40, 50 minutes sometimes.
That's fine. And
It's
I
not
bet
gonna
you
work like that. You're gonna
What?
queue up, and it's gonna put you on a team. It's just gonna be like arena skirmishes. That's how it's gonna be.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. They can do arena skirmishes.
That's how it's gonna be. It's gonna be just like arena skirmishes.
Well, then it's going to be stupid. I don't want to play a dumb comp. That makes no
You're gonna have
sense.
to play with people around your rating, and that's about it.
Why
Unless
can't they
figure out how
implement
to
a
code it
system?
better.
Can I talk? Jesus Christ! Why can they not implement a system to where before when you set up the queue, it says, "Hey, what do you want to look for? You want to look for a particular DPS or a spec?" It brings up this list of what you want, and it doesn't queue you until you get it. What's so hard about that? I don't understand.
It is good to hold it once again.
Draenor's honor. A fitting name for a worthy weapon.
I don't see how that's a hard system to implement. Oh, I'm talking to myself. Sick. Oh man, this quest really makes me just want to vomit. Oh, I need to do the world quest while I'm out here.
You are a warrior of great skill, Traka.
I was forged,
Let
in
honor guide your path.
as were you, I am told.
This game makes no sense, bro. That's not... so stupid.
Can you hear me now? Hello? Hello?
Hey, you took your headset off. I know you did. You're a fucking asshole. Can you hear me now? Fucking troll.
I was finding the article of what.
No, you
Why they're
weren't.
doing
Shut
it.
the fuck up.
I got it right here, yeah.
Oh, I don't care to have these conversations with you if you're gonna do that. That's just fucking stupid and disrespectful.
Okay. Later.
Take your fucking headset off when I'm trying to talk. Oh my god, Pat, live. Holy shit. Way more I need? One more?
Who taught you to fight?
A human. He wanted a gladiator. He made an enemy. The Marsworn are assaulting our position. Eradicate them.
Tear that necropolis out of the sky! Drag it down!
Necrolords! Burn these traitors to ash!
Wild Hunt! We ride to battle!
Take to the skies! Our allies are counting on us!
Come, let us show them the might of their
The Helltide heat! The Zerapris will cover us!
Causes all enemies within 15 yards of the impact to... Oh.
How goes the fight?
Sick. Release the prisoners.
Please, save me, brother.
These prisoners. Where's one? Why is it there's what? What? Come on, bro. Now that counts. Is there any up here? No. Shrouded cloth. Hmm.
Blood and thunder.
And we are at the end, my friend. My friend.
Our enemies approach Helya. We need reinforcements. Scared now, Drax? The jailer does not tolerate weakness in his ranks.
Virus! You will answer for what you did to Crexus.
Take my boon, Virus. You are outnumbered after all.
Strike, matron of wolves. Show them the heart of a necrolord. No, sorceress. It is you who is out of your depth. Time to deprive the jailer of his underling.
Underling? Helya is no one's underling. I will not be silenced. I will not be imprisoned. My wrath shall haunt your...
All right, completed with that.
For the honor of the well fought. Go well. Come. You will speak.
Return to Corthia.
Loktar! I knew who you were the moment I saw you. Do you really think I would not recognize Durotan's eyes? You were but
Victory
a
in our name.
Tell me, who have you grown to be?
War is at hand. Fire-Raz has answered for his treachery. The houses of Maldraxxus stand united once more. With a shared purpose before us, I will reforge the sigil of the Necrolords. It shall be entrusted to Draka until I have need of it.
Champion, quickly. We must stop the Primus before it is too late. Not presume, scum. You cannot deceive the House of Eyes. I stand ready.
Ah, the Maw Walker.
I will listen, for now, tomorrow is another.
Why do I need a Hearth of Sinful? Can't believe I'm only halfway done with this shit, man. So crazy.
Why would anyone walk anywhere? I see the accuser has let you out of your cage.
I am
we
your
are here
pet to be
hunt and
commanded.
destroy
You would do well to remember
Try
that.
not to join them this time.
And what can this humble fallen prince do for you today? You were ever fond of saying that the Venthyr do not destroy. We educate. It is time you were reminded of Revendreth's noble purpose.
Shall we begin?
You cannot bind me here. I am eternal. I am your master. I am Revendreth.
Remember this lesson. Hello, more.
The prince shall be protected. So, he has finally worked up the nerve to meet with her. I must gather a worthy escort.
Why were you sent to Maldraxxus, Vaj? You have no shortage of sins.
Countless ages ago, just after the first Venthyr was sired, Denathrius unveiled another creation, the Nathrezim. Forged to be the ultimate infiltrators, they bore the influence of death into the realms of our rivals, as well as the worlds of the living. Despite their subtlety, one of these incursions was discovered. In response, the full wrath of the light fell upon Revendreth, setting ablaze the ward once held by the Nathrezim. Once the Naru were routed, the Stonerite turned her anger upon the Nathrezim, blaming them for the loss of so many of her children. The armies of Maldraxxus did not rise up to defend us, so the Stonerite carved her Stone Legion to strike back against the light. The conflict was ended by Denathrius, who said he would exile them to a world beyond the Shadowlands. Denathrius never told me what became of the Nathrezim. Only later did I learn that mortal souls had come to know them by another name, the Dread Lords.
Just like how you wouldn't want to go blind into a brush, you wouldn't want to go blind into a game. So let us do the face checking for you. Face check lets you actively compare stats and trends to give you that added edge against your opponents. Face check prepares you before the game with optimal runes and build guides, gets your teammates in-game with info, counters, and live metrics trackers, and then provides a post-game breakdown with crucial information, comparisons, and improvement tips to keep you improving at your game. Face check is the all-in-one solution to improving your gameplay. Download Face check today for free and start climbing.
I've not met a single rogue in this entire expansion that opens in under... I've not met a single rogue in this entire expansion that opens in under 56 minutes, okay? They go in the gates and they sit stealth. They're like, how do I want to one-shot this shaman in this game? Should I cheap shot kidney, garrote, gouge, MCS, full kidney, cheap shot again? Or should I cheap shot vanish, kidney, garrote, hit him for 16,000, and then hit him with an MCS? And they just sit there and they ponder all the ways that they could win. Oh wait, this is actually the last patch of the expansion, huh? 9-2.
Yeah.
That's kind of exciting.
So we're gonna be in 300
nice. I'm hitting
I
Pally,
lost
actually.
you, dude. This guy's in big trouble.
We have a stun for Pally
Look at
search.
Kill him up. Oh, cover me.
Can you stun Pally?
I don't have it yet. He's already on DR.
Go Pally, trust.
Vortex
killing him.
Oh, nice. Bubbling. I'm fine.
This build's f***ing insane, by the way. Holy shit! I told you guys.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Nice game, guys. Nice game.
Damn, we're in there now, bro. Got rogue.
Yeah, we're putting rogue here.
Sure. Stew. I'm gonna fear, okay?
Okay. I'm hitting him very hard. There's cheat death. It's dead.
Okay, what? What the
Yeah,
fuck?
a lot of damn.
Your fucking class is broken, man. What the fuck?
Wait, I think we pop on ret. I swear.
Okay, I can pop ret. I 100% can.
Yeah. Let's pop the ret when he comes in. Yeah. Pop him
Ready
like
to
a
go, ready to
dick,
go?
dude. Yeah, I am.
Locked him out. No bubble. Huge. He's dead.
Walk Druid. Nice. See? Nice fucking job, dude. Oh my god, you're getting really good, Seed. I can tell.
Haha. Yo, chat. Should I order a number 16 with onions? What do you think, chat? Should I get that extra large onion? Oh yeah. Yeah, I love that shit. Yo, Jersey Mike's. I'm gonna get that bacon cheesesteak thing. 2 giants. Shit's so expensive though, bro. Yo, chat. I got a pack of gum, only 30 bucks. 8 pieces. It makes you have energy and shit. You should buy that shit. Exclamation gum in the chat. My heart here. I might blast. Done. Get him out of here. Told you, man. They get fucking blastified. He's gonna try and go for a fear, okay?
Brett, what?
Really good.
Killing priest now. Killing priest now.
Yep. Same. Hodge.
Oh.
Huge fucking damage. What the hell? Belfim, no paints up.
Oh.
Sorry. It's fucking a lot of read. I need an S here. Do I? I'm S-ing here.
What?
I'm gonna close this guy's trinket here. They tried to win one time and they got fucking punished. Ah! 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 Ah!
What am I supposed to do?
Got him! You play SOM? Never playing SOM, bro. That's some dog shit. That's some fucking dog shit. I'd rather do a 24-hour tour gas stream. Thoughts?
I'm just holding my CS. I'm just gonna cast on this guy, okay?
Alright. I kick next. I'm stuck. Kick that, kick that, kick that.
Nice, nice, nice. I have CS still,
Okay.
Maybe I sheep, maybe I... might sheep here, Got it.
Okay, it's damage time.
Could be dead. Yes, sir.
Look at that
Nova's just
Nova.
not breaking.
Look at that Nova, by the way.
He
Casting
might
clone
live.
on him. Got it. Bop.
Getting it, or I'm just killing.
That works.
Nice, dude. So confident in the 2v2, I like it.
Dude, you use that comp all the time, bro.
I know.
I never doubt it.
Who on Serene? I'm gonna
Try
kill
to
this
get
guy in
Shredder.
like 1 second. He's in a lot of trouble.
First shot to full rank. Exchange. Fuck it.
Oh shit.
Idiot. Trying to repent Druid.
He's dying.
Repent Druid here. Let's drink it. We're gonna go really hard. I bought this, I bought this, I bought this. King Lust, King Lust, King Lust.
Okay, did it.
Can I kill her? Let's go, dude. That was sick. Watch this, chat. Say a fucking little bitch ass. Bum, 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 bum.
Illidan would have relished this. What fate do you
Dude, look at the mace
suppose
stun
was
there.
chosen for him?
People tell me my mace stun fucking sucks. That's what people tell me, boys. That's what people tell me, boys. Yow. Tapped here. I'm farting. Full.
Dude, you are fucking ridiculous.
Oh shit! Oh baby, daddy! God damn! Good shit.
Dropping here. I kill. Woo! That was nice. I tried to one-shot him from the air. I tried to hit him with a fucking 1D, bro. That's what I was trying to do, bro.
Old friend of Anthony Huber's, 7, 8 years. Basically went to high school together, been friends ever since. I was out there and everything, you know, taking the recordings of everything, seeing things that were happening, and a lot of people don't understand that.
This is a really loaded question. Yeah, do you want to just introduce like yourself, who you are, what you want to chat about? Yeah.
I guess I can go by Dosey. That's just kind of my like Brood War name from back in the day that I just kind of kept. Old friend of Anthony Huber's, probably 7, 8 years. Basically went to high school together, been friends ever since. Just kind of want to ask you a few things about your views on the whole situation and kind of maybe enlighten some people on what actually kind of happened and like the whole of Kenosha rioting, not just specifically the shooting, because there's a few things that people kind of get wrong or don't know about.
Sure.
So, just want to talk about that. And even though I'm Anthony Huber's friend, I'm not gonna support him per se, and I think what he did was wrong. And you know, I would say that Cal Rittenhouse did self-defense. I wouldn't say that he was in the wrong or anything like that. So I don't want it to come across as like.
No, you're fine. You can have whatever opinion you want. I'm not gonna like scrimmage or anything.
Yeah. So one of the things I talked about is I saw your discussion about the pixels in the video, and I wanted to talk to you about that first.
Sure.
So with that, I got what you're saying was that when you enhance a video, it puts pixels in, which I would agree with. It does do that, depending on what's happening.
Yeah,
but most likely,
yeah.
yes. That's yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So my slight issue with that is, let's say you're right, and we enhance the video, and it's not a photo, it's a video, and let's say it's in the shape of a gun, per se. Let's just say but every frame, if it were to keep being let's say the shape of a gun, do you think that it would just be coincidence that it just happens to keep being the shape of a gun, or possibly that there actually was a gun being aimed? Obviously, me and you have both seen the video. It's horrible quality. We can't really tell.
Yeah, but let's assume it was better. So I think that it becomes a question of like, what is the purpose of the legal system, or how do we decide how the legal system should err on one side or the other? And I think that generally in the United States, we usually presume innocence unless we can prove guilt in these types of matters beyond a reasonable doubt. So as long as a reasonable doubt can still exist while watching the video, even if we say it could be his gun, maybe, as long as there's still a reasonable person could say, I mean, it could be something else as well, then ideally in those circumstances, there's enough of a doubt that you can't convict.
See, I would completely 100% agree with you, but my one little bit is that I don't think the prosecution has brought this up too much. And maybe this is me also conflating with just my personal life of hearing people also talk. But there was multiple people stating they did see him also point a gun at people. I'm not sure if it was brought up in the court case, but yeah, I feel like those two things combined might make it more likely that it wasn't just a coincidence of pixels being added.
So that's something that I 100% would agree with. And it's part of the strongest evidence that I would look for is, was there other testimony that corroborates what we could be seeing on video? Now, the unfortunate thing is, do you mind saying, do you lean left or right politically?
I would say I'm probably around where you are, like a sock dem.
Okay, so definitely not a fan of Trump, I'm assuming, right?
No. I used to be on the right, but not anymore.
Sure. So people will say a lot of things when they're talking to media or when they're just talking shit, but they'll testify to far less. And we saw this happen a lot with Giuliani and some of the Trump cases about fraudulent voters, where we had some people who were willing to either write an affidavit or, Giuliani was talking a lot of shit, but when it came time to what he wanted to testify to in court under penalty of perjury, that testimony took on a far more cautious and guarded tone. And that's kind of my issue when I think of what happened with the Rittenhouse stuff in terms of him aiming a gun beforehand. There might have been some people saying before, yeah, maybe he was, and we saw this, but none of those people were willing to come and testify, which I think hurts the credibility of that evidence quite a bit. So if I'm a jury, I can't really consider what was said to the media if these people aren't willing to actually testify in court.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. But also, I would add a little bit, I'm leaning towards what you're saying, but I also would add in that even though he said he sarcastically said it, he did admit in court that he did point a gun at somebody, which I don't know why you would even just sarcastically admit to it, but that kind of also kind of hurts your credibility, and it just came across.
If he did, I would have to go back and say I don't remember. We watched a lot of his testimony, but I didn't watch all of it. But I don't think that happened. I think, or in court, he said that he had said something, but he was being sarcastic, but he didn't actually aim his gun at somebody, right?
Yeah. So what happened is that I'm not 100% sure, but it seemed like at first he said he did point his gun at someone who was jumping up and down on a car, which is why the whole thing was brought up about the video where he said, oh, if I had my gun, I would shoot them kind of thing.
Sure.
And then once the prosecution was talking to him, I guess you could say, he then kind of switched. It's well, I was being sarcastic. I actually didn't do it, but I just didn't want to have a conflict and blah, blah, blah. But I mean, that kind of also can kind of lean towards you're saying you're being sarcastic, but I mean, like, are you really being sarcastic? I mean, obviously, you know, people can lie and stuff like that, like, you know, with like the owners of the car ship or the car dealership. Even though in court they said, well, we didn't say they could do it. I have a feeling they were just doing that to kind of save their asses from, like, you know, civil suits and stuff like that. But
yeah, maybe I'd have to go back and watch this particular interaction because I don't know if I caught this one. But I'm assuming you're saying everything that's true. But yeah.
yeah, no, I mean, it's like 7 or 8 days of like 6-hour trials. I don't blame. I didn't even see the first like 3 days. They were just like snippets I caught. But and then there was a few more things. You were talking to Counterpoints about juries and how he felt that like jurors shouldn't be the ones to kind of decide his fate. And I'm kind of leaning both ways on this one. And I'm only leaning both ways because I feel like the polarization of politics nowadays is pushing people so extreme left and right that it's just becoming an all or nothing. I don't know, did you watch the jury selection of this?
I did not watch the jury selection, no.
Oh, so in the jury selection, there was a ton of jurors who were just basically like, nope, I can't do this, I'm biased. Like, one person was basically like, I believe in the Second Amendment. And then the judge was like, well, this isn't about the Second Amendment. And he was just like, well, I believe it's about the Second Amendment, I'm gonna be biased. And I feel like some people are being truthful, which is great, and that's like awesome of them, but there's also people that like could always just like lie and have it deep down. They're like, this is how I feel, and nothing's gonna change that. And I feel like in the past, would be less likely, but I feel like with Trump and what the left is kind of doing, they're both just pulling each other away from each other, and there can't be any middle ground, and it's going to come to the point where eventually someone might just be like, well, this is a political trial, and I like Trump, and I like guns, so I'm just going to say that Kyle's innocent. Or the left could be like, well, I'm BLM, and I just feel like, you know, he should be punished for what he's done. And I feel like they're like, even with all the evidence given, that it just won't even matter. They already have their opinion, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean, it seems like we become more and more partisan. But I mean, like, this has always kind of been a broader concern with jury trials, right? It could be the case. This is why, like, concepts like jury nullification exist, right?
Yeah, no, of course. But I'm just asking, like, do you feel it might hit a point where juries just couldn't necessarily work for many cases? Well, I'm saying, like, mostly, like,
I mean, that it is possible that could happen, but if we got to that point, then there's, like, our country is getting, like, fundamentally broken, right? It's not
I feel like we're slowly getting there, but do you think there's any remedy to that, or is it just kind of just like, you know, there's really nothing we can do to kind of solve this issue?
Yeah, I have no idea. If I knew how to fix that, I'd be like, that's like the $1 trillion question, right?
Yeah. And then another one was, I feel like this case could have some implications with vigilantism, and I'm wondering how you feel about that, because I feel like the left has definitely glorified this for the right. Not them glorifying it, but giving the right a reason to glorify it. And I feel like a lot of people would imitate what Kyle Rittenhouse did, and I feel like that wouldn't be very much a good thing. And I'm wondering if you feel like this case could lead to more cases such as this.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely could. It's hard to say because it almost feels like you could argue that it could lead to it on either side. Like, for instance, let's say Rittenhouse gets, let's say he gets off completely. Maybe more conservatives are emboldened to start carrying arms to protest and stuff. And then situations that in the past might have ended with a couple of bloody noses or maybe even like a broken arm or something. Now people are getting shot and killed just because everything is amped up when firearms get involved, right? Nobody's just fighting anymore. Now people are killing each other. So that is definitely a possibility. But but I think the scary thing is that, or another fear could be that, let's say Rittenhouse actually doesn't get off. Let's say he gets convicted completely. Maybe that emboldens people on the left to be more, I guess, confrontational with conservatives if they think they have guns, because they think they're going to be morally in the right to do so, you know?
No, like, I completely agree. I was actually kind of like talking with a girlfriend about it, and like, let's say this case happened before January 6th. I could almost see some like crazy nutcase leftist like trying to justify, let's say, being at like the January 6th Capitol with a gun and basically saying like, if you try and come to this like Congress, I'm just gonna shoot you. And then assuming, let's say, I mean, obviously it's hyperbolic, but like assuming, you know, he's protecting like government and Congress and people and stuff like that, you know, just something like that. Like, it could just lead to more extreme examples from both sides. I agree with you on both sides.
Sure,
I guess he's going both ways. Yeah. And then what's the other one? And then there was a few things that you said actually in the panel. You stated that the militia didn't show up until the riots came. Kind of
My
wasn't
understanding
true.
is that yeah, there might have been. I mean, you know better than me. There might have been people on the ground prior to that, but the I thought that the group that Kyle was with, like their big show of force that night was in response to the 2 prior nights of rioting that had happened, in response to the Jacob Blake shootings. That there had been like 2 really big nights of rioting, and that's why people were going out, Kyle included, to the next night.
yeah, no, I think that group did come in response, but like the first night I had driven the girlfriend home into like a certain neighborhood. I'm not gonna name it, but at the entrance of the neighborhood was actually militia people. There was 2 of them with like, you know, their AR-15s or whatever, and they didn't want people to come in until they identified them. I mean, I just drove past. I was like, I'm not gonna stop people with a gun, and then like they aimed guns at the car for a split second. I just put them down. I mean, that's obviously anecdotal, but you know, it was definitely people were there everywhere,
Sure.
you know, with their guns and stuff like that. And obviously, both sides, it looks bad on both sides. But yeah, no, that was just a little thing. And then, I had some other stuff right now. Let's see. And then,
Have you been out like doing any of the actual like with any of the protesters yourself, or have you just been? Are you just kind of like, do you know people involved in it?
I was there for the first few nights, and like I had video, and actually like on your Discord I had like showed some of the videos. Nothing like graphic or anything like that, but just like, you know, just some of the protesting. But like every night I was basically out there video recording stuff like that. It was just, and then like I had been in a pretty similar situation as Kyle Rittenhouse, so I kind of feel like Kyle Rittenhouse did more than what he's saying he did. But to get to that, basically, I don't know if you really know the layout of Kenosha, but like where the courthouse is, there's like a park where everyone was like protesting and stuff like that. Some protesters had lit a fire, similar to Kyle Rittenhouse, what he did. I put it out, and then basically, you know, being surrounded by protesters, being screamed at. I mean, obviously, I just said redirected them. I was like, hey, like, we're not trying to like destroy the property. We're supposed to yell at cops. So I mean, you know, I was at the same time I was actually getting shot by the cops too with rubber bullets. So that was fun, but yeah, no, just. I was out there and everything, you know, taking recordings of everything, seeing things that were happening, and a lot of people don't understand that the riots really didn't happen until the police had pushed people out of that little park area in front of the courthouse. Until that moment, there was, besides maybe like the school next to it, had the windows broken and graffitied, but it was the moment that the police had pushed everyone out, and that's where the riots started. And then the police really didn't do a great job at like locking down the city or what to do after pushing people out, because all they did was just basically just push people out into like, you know, the downtown area, and then obviously like people are crazy and just want to do whatever they have, but yeah, it was definitely very wild, and never seen like anything like this before in Kenosha. But
Gotcha.
But one other question I had, I guess, would be, I believe that Kyle Rittenhouse, and I gotta kind of word myself just in case people in Kenosha are listening, because you know, yeah, like we discussed before, but
oh, something, I'm just kind of curious, something else, and you don't have to answer these obviously depending on what, were you approached at all by, or did you end up talking to any law enforcement over everything that happened? Did they reach out and start questioning a lot of people in the area, or?
Yes, actually a family, because Kenosha isn't necessarily one city. There's also a part called Pleasant Prairie, and these kind of work together, and I have family in the Pleasant Prairie Police Department, and so they did talk to a lot of people, but you could also see a lot of bias in ways, I guess you could say. They talked to people, but you could also see a lot of other things, like let's say when the police had started moving forward, there would, let's say, be a protester with, like, you know, a decent camera, not like a phone, but like an actual decent camera recording, and the police would literally start pushing them out. But then another person that was just like a journal or something with another camera would be like let go and just be able to do whatever they want, even though they were saying everyone leave, etc., etc. But yeah, there were cops talking to people and stuff like that. I don't think there was any real arrests besides afterwards, because obviously they had, you know, drone footage and cameras like that. They started arresting people afterwards and filing complaints and stuff like that. But one question I had is, I agree that it was self-defense. I mean, if I was in the same situations right now, so I'd have done probably the same exact thing. Maybe not gone down the road he did. He easily could have, like, if you watch the video, I know you watched the video, but where he's running and first shoots Rosenbaum, had he kept going straight and gone down that road, he could have just gone to a fire department that's, you know, 6 blocks down and could have easily not been interrupted with all the other crowds or had that whole situation with Anthony or Gage or anything like that. But do you feel that he was wrong in any way? Like he should get any charges? Like, let's say, not say like murder, but like say like being reckless or whatever the charges are, with like the lesser charges that might be implicated against him.
I would have to know specifically, like in terms of like possession of the weapon would come down to what the letter of the law is. I don't know for Kenosha, and I think even the jury is probably going to deliberate on whether that law was broken or not, because it seems to be pretty ambiguously worded. In terms of like, the problem is there's two different questions. Are there things that he could have done to minimize the amount of harm ultimately that he ended up causing? The answer to that is almost certainly yes. But in terms of like,
definitely.
yeah, did he have like a moral or a legal responsibility to do that? Based on everything that I've Breonna Taylor case.
Beware nicety.
I think that he was totally clear. I don't even know if they brought. I don't think they even brought charges to that guy, right? I mean, you have a bunch of people breaking down your door. You fired a shot. It was at police officers. It was that was self-defense against police officers, and I don't think. Yeah, they dropped all those charges. They didn't even move to do anything with those. So, and I have a feeling most conservatives are probably ultra ass mad about that. So who knows? Why do you say that it's up to the jury so anything could happen, Destiny? Because it's literally that. Anything could happen. The jury could be like, you know what? No, fuck this dude. Like, this is some fucked up shit. Like, he's guilty on everything. Fuck him. Or they could be like, no way. This guy's actually a fucking hero. Okay? This guy's a Marvel movie walking. Can the defense appeal if the jury rules him guilty? I believe they can appeal, yeah. I don't know why they wouldn't be able to, no. How do you feel about jury trials? Should they even be used? Yeah, I think it's okay. Seems like either way this trial goes, we're going to have some galvanized, some people. Oh, he walks. It's more likely we're going to have more dudes going to protest such rights with guns and shooting people. If he's found guilty, rioters would feel vindicated and probably feel safer going to riot, baby. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty shit either way.
If Kyle is acquitted, do you think that gives him grounds to sue Gage in civil court?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Do you reckon the threat of their city being burnt down again by LARP and Commiss will play a role in their decision?
Anything could. Who knows?
Hi. We are Woodger.
It makes you want to move.
Oh my god! Our products let you feel sound through haptic feedback. The responses were pretty good.
And if it didn't put a smile on your face, I would also question whether or not you're alive.
When coming to create our new generation, Woodger Edge series, we reread all of the feedback we got from over 73,000 users. One response really caught us. People spend so much time and money to get the best headphones when they can't really tell the difference. Woodger makes you experience sound on a completely different level. So we decided to put headphones versus Woodger Edge to the test.
We're gonna put 2 headphones on you, and we're gonna wonder which one do you feel is better.
All right.
Okay.
Let's go with these ones. Can't really tell the difference.
This one is better. Yeah, definitely. So far, the first ones.
I don't know, they're like the same.
Oh.
Okay. What's going on? I can actually feel the bass.
Wow, that's crazy.
It totally makes a difference. All of my body's shaking.
Completely different.
Like, it really changes the way the music sounds, the way I would listen to music. Can I keep this?
So yeah, Woodger really does make your experience pretty damn breathtaking.
Wow, never felt something like it.
But there was another thing people said, a lot. So we played a bit with the transducers, the providers of the feedback, kept the incredible sensation, had 2 amazing crowdfunding campaigns, and now Woodger Edge is for everybody. So how does it work? Well, sound is air movement that typically spreads as an audible wave of pressure.
Do you think when they came up with trials by jury, there were cases where the potential jury would be exposed to 1+ years of partisan coverage at this level? At this level, probably not. It's probably really hard, but... Somebody shot me an email. I'm not sure this is how I should contact you, but if so, hello. I'm from Kenosha, and I found some of your insight and conversations surrounding the Rittenhouse subject to be quite correct. Often, some might claim that the damage to businesses was minor. It was not. Very often, I would pass by car lots that were completely torched even 6 months later. Many buildings in the surrounding neighborhoods are still boarded up. Many people in the area are supportive of progressive causes, but the damage the riots did was not just physical. My personal experience, the damage of the riots is greatly apparent in the conversations people have every day. Some of my peers attended events with Kyle and knew him personally. Many of the people I go to school with live just 5 minutes away from Kyle's hometown. Kenosha County is not small, but it is composed of many small communities. In these communities, people have witnessed Kyle's situation and used it to bolster their fears of a harmful, pervasive, progressive monster corrupting our country. Much conservatism was bolstered, if not created, when our communities were faced with with these now nationally recognized issues. At least, that has been my experience interacting with conservative acquaintances and friends in the area. Just an interesting random email from somebody that supposedly lives there.
This is a case in which a 17-year-old teenager killed 2 unarmed men and severely wounded a 3rd person with an AR-15 that did not belong to him. This isn't a situation where he was protecting his home or his family. He killed people.
Man, is he allowed to? I guess he is, because the judge didn't stop him. He's allowed to reference that, even though it's not necessarily illegal. But maybe that doesn't matter, I guess.
After traveling here from Antioch, Illinois, and staying out after a citywide curfew.
Your Honor, I'm going to object.
Oh.
There's no curfew charge anymore. There's no
That's true.
gun charge.
Uh-oh.
Although he claimed
there's no charge, but and
there is no charge, but it could go to building the narrative. It doesn't necessarily have to be illegal for it to build a narrative, right? So we'll see.
there has been some discussion about the lawfulness of the curfew, not in this case, but elsewhere. But there had been a curfew announced. That does not mean that.
It seems like you can say whatever in closing statements. No way can you just say whatever. I'm sure there are still rules about referencing other things or bringing up things that have been, like, you can't just like make shit up, right?
It was technically lawfully a legal curfew, but there had been an announced curfew, so I'll leave it at that.
And it was a curfew that all the rest of us here in Kenosha were aware of. And
the judge is actually so fucking based. He restores my faith in the legal system. I think that a lot of people that go on to be judges or even justices sometimes like take with them. They feel like decent people generally. You can get some judges that lean a little bit more like on the hard-ass side. You get some judges that are a little bit more in the, I don't know if you'd say progressive side or chill side. But I think for the most part, I think they tend to have, just based on what I've seen. I mean, like, obviously you're going to run into a few like bad apples. That'll always happen. But they seem to generally have a commitment to what they do. But I mean, getting elected as a judge, being a judge, like, this is a lot. There's a lot of shit you have to go through in terms of practicing law, to being, you know, politically popular, to, you know, whatever, to having a good track record to like get to these positions. So. Deepak called the judge biased. Deepak has lefty brain rot when it comes to anything surrounding this trial. There's been like so much crazy shit that people have said that have just made me that is like where people are reaching so hard. Oh man, it's so disappointing to hear. The racist Asian joke, like, come on, are you actually fucking serious? Are we actually being real with this garbage, with this nonsense? It was a racist joke. He was calling them fobs. Like, come on, are we real? Are we serious? Holy shit, come the fuck on. What did he say? There was a joke. Apparently there's stuff backed up in the harbor or whatever, I guess, something they're dealing with up there. I don't know, I don't know the scenario. But they talked about breaking for lunch, and the judge said something like, oh, I hope they didn't order Asian food and it's like stuck in the harbor or something like that. He said something along those lines. And people were like, oh my god, he's making a fresh off the boat joke about Asian immigrants. It's like, oh, are you serious? What? People went so... People turned it into that. You've heard like does anybody have a link to what the judge said exactly? I don't want to misquote it. I'd like to hear just exactly.
Let's hope for 1 o'clock. I don't know. Hope the Asian food isn't coming. Isn't on one of those boats in Long Beach Harbor.
Because apparently in Long Beach Harbor it's like super backed up right now.
Aim for 1 o'clock.
But people heard this and they're like, oh my god, he's making racist Asian jokes. He's so biased. That's like not that anybody is even Asian in this trial, but like it's like actual unironic brain rot. To be fair, the joke isn't that funny. It's not relevant, but like, okay, hold on. All right, I'm reading this, okay? Over the course of the trial at Rittenhouse, there have been a few incidents that have caused some people to assert that Judge Schroeder appears to have a bias in favor of Rittenhouse. In this post, I aim to account for each of those incidents and determine whether the accusation of bias holds any merit. If you feel that any incident is missing or I'm not representing a claim of bias accurately, then please let me know, and I might amend the post if I have time. Disclaimer, I am not a lawyer, and any arguments I make are based solely on my limited understanding of court proceedings and on what I've read and watched while writing this post. First off, I think it's important to clarify that the justice system always has a bias in favor of the defendant because it is considered worse to convict an innocent person than to set a guilty person free. So over the course of the past few days, I've been arguing a lot that the prosecution has, like, their goal is to basically get a conviction, and the defense's goal is to defend their client. So I think I've had literally like 10 lawyers email me. So there's an important caveat here. which I meant, I thought was kind of obvious, but I'll state now because I've gotten a lot of people that email with this. So the prosecution's goal is obviously to get a conviction, but they're also supposed to work within the bounds of the law. They can't lie, or they're not there to make shit up. They're supposed to be like serving justice. They're supposed to make sure that they're going through the proper like channels, that they're doing the proper procedure, that they're not like just trying to do whatever they can to like invent charges or anything like that, right? Just want to clarify that. I literally had I want to say it was literally like 10 different people who were lawyers that were that emailed me saying like, hey, there's a couple like in Australia, most in the U.S. This is why defendants must be proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. The merits of this case can, of course, be discussed, but that's not the goal of this post. But I'm specifically, and I'm looking for specifically is bias the judge goes beyond the normal judicial bias in favor of defendants. The incidents. Incident 1. Judge Schroeder.
All right, Chad, I gotta go for now.